Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to our show. This is doing well, having a wonderful day on this 15th February 2025. We're playing Tokyo Go Break the Chains. And today we're entering a subject of why Kenny is my goat. Now, you might think we're talking about Kenny Haas, which I made videos about previously. But then you remember that this is on the gaming channel. So, like, it's not going to talk about something that's not gaming, right? Well, Kenny is a character of one of my favorite games, which is Telltale Walking Dead. I wouldn't do the whole freaking list of characters, but I wanted to start with Kenny. Let you cut me open just to watch me braid. Gave up who I am for you. You wanted me to be. Know what I thought said. This says Emptiness Machine, Linkin Park. Or the albums of the Emptiness Machine. Emptiness Machine. Good. Fuck yeah. So, Kenny, why it's so important is because I did a video about Telltale's, okay, so long story short, I was watching this guy this morning and he was talking about the tragedy, and I'm like, what tragedy do I know? And the tragedy of Telltale came up as a joke. And I made a video about that, and I was like, yo, I talk about Walking Dead, and one of the characters I talk about was Kenny. Right? So that's pretty much it. So Kenny, why is Kenny my goal? So first of all, I started to talk about the game. So if you know Walking Dead, there's a really good game out there. And no, it's not Walking Dead Destiny, trust me. It doesn't my end. It's Walking Dead Telltale. Right? Now I'm not a fan of Telltales. I did like the let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. Gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. So there's Game of Thrones that was actually pretty good. Wolf Among Us that's pretty good, and Walking Dead, which is fucking phenomenal. So, it was a really, 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 really good game. But it was a game. So what is Telltale, right? First of all, I need to put in perspective. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you already know what it is, right? Kenny was okay. What is it? Telltale. Telltale is a narrative. So you're watching a movie, but you're one of the characters in the movie. So your action, your reaction, your conversation, right, are all part of it. So you can choose camp, you can choose to help somebody, and if you don't help them, they'll die. You have to choose to save somebody else, or someone, one of them will die no matter what. And then there's almost a timeline. It's a game that's really pushed upon the concept of timeline. So in this timeline, I did help this person, and because I did help this person, the whole timeline has changed, right? This person wasn't supposed to survive, but because I helped them survive, now the timeline has changed, right? It's pretty cool. There's a lot of characters, and again, you're dealing with Walking Dead. Of course, we're not talking about a lot of walkers. We're talking about a lot of walkers in Walking Dead 4, but in the first one, not really. Well, the first one takes actually part before even Rick wakes up. You know, Rick Grant from the main show. So yeah, so it's pretty hardcore. We're talking about the first cases. So you got this, you got the second one. The second one is kind of far in. Yeah, kind of far in. Third one, do I remember the third one? Yeah. The third one is really far in. You got zones, you got colony, you got community. And the fourth one is completely fucked up. You're completely surrounded by. So if you know if you know the real story of Walking Dead, at the end they don't win. They don't win. They end up in a community where it's safe, but they don't win, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so with Telltale Walking Dead, what was cool is like you had a really like I didn't play Wolf Among Us. I only played Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Game of Thrones was more so a little betrayal, so you don't know who to trust, right? Because it's politics. But Walking Dead is like yo, who's helpful, and I'm thinking about a lot of characters. Now, of course, my goat is not. Complicated. My three favorite characters are Lee, Kenny, and Clementine. Lee dies, surprise. He's the main character of the first game. My second one is Clementine. Now, Clementine doesn't work quite well. Because Clementine, when she started the series, which is Telltale series, she started episode 1. She's young. She's a kid. Then she ended up in like a badass, which is basically like a Carl Grime, right? And then Kenny was solid all around. So you take Kenny as a goat because he's the only character that I like from beginning to an end. Now, why is Kenny my goat? Well, Kenny is such a complex character. He's a complex character and his non-complexity. Kenny is an asshole, and if you don't help him, I'll truly be mad at you. Kenny is the kind of guy that doesn't make the right decision all the time, right? So why is he my goat? Well, it's actually quite simple. Kenny is actually really simple. So when the first game happened, your favorite character, a lot of people's favorite characters is Lee. Lee is his perfect character. Lee is his perfect character of I'm a good guy that make mistake. And because I'm a good guy that made mistake, I'm able to survive. I'm able to be an asshole. I'm able to, you understand? So what ended up happening is Lee, because that's what happened is he's the perfect representation of what we're trying to do here. Yeah, it's the perfect representation of what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to do is actually quite simple. We're trying to do a game where another follow. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. What we're trying to do is are you making the right choice is the wrong choice. So Telltale, what I'm not saying is the beauty of Telltale is you're able to say, okay, well, I'm doing the wrong choice, I'm doing the good choice. Am I doing the nice things or am I doing the thing to survive, right? I think Walking Dead, the best part about Walking Dead is Rick Grimes and Shane. I forgot his family name. But Shane was a survivor. Rick Grimes was a human being, and it's like, dude, this world is fucked up. Rick, we're not supposed to be nice in this world. Only the mean survive. And Rick's like, no, what will save us is our humanity, right? And it's actually quite nice because at the end, Rick was kind of right. So Shane would have been right in 99% of the case. 99%. I got 99 problem, but Shane ain't one. However, the only really big time, and it's a huge time where it really helps, is because Rick group is so kind. They get recruited in Alexandria, which becomes their home till the very end. So if it's not from that moment, if they're not they're asshole, they're still on the road, they might die, right? So Shane would have got them killed. But then at the same time, Shane would have get them killed, but Negan would have attacked the community, and the community would not exist at the same time. So kind of crazy. But with Telltale, again, Telltale, so Lee is a perfect opportunity to say, okay, well, it's actually really good. Lee is actually a perfect mixture between I'm a good guy, I'm a bad guy, I can make bad choices. And they come from Lee, so it's normal. But also Clementine, who is a kid, but she's kind of growing up in that world, right? A lot of those people like, oh, I missed the world before the zombies. Clementine, that's all she remembers, right? So she grows up, and by season 3, season 4, she's a badass. She's a kind mom. She's really, really cool. She's gonna start out as a young Carl, and then she's gonna end up as a mixture of Maggie, kind of Maggie, but nicer than Maggie. Nicer than Maggie. When Glenn died, Maggie was an asshole. It's a bit before Shane died. Let's call it like that, right? She died to her little brother. Now, Kenny, why is my favorite? Kenny is an asshole. Kenny will say, hey, for example, there's a moment in the game where you have food and you have to give it to other people. And it's like, yo, you didn't give me shit. You didn't give my son shit. You didn't give my wife shit. You didn't give me shit. I thought we're friends. But he's the only one that says this, right? Or there's gonna be people that are disagreeing with him since you're kind of the leader de facto, not by choice, but we're just the leader. Kenny will be like, "Fuck you, take them out," and he's asking you, and you're like, "No, I don't want to kick people out, dude. I do not want to kick people out, right? This is not my choice. If I kick them out, they'll die. I don't want anybody to die." And then Kenny will be mad at you, right? However, Kenny, why is my goat is for so this was the negative of Kenny. Kenny's an asshole. Kenny is an asshole. If you're his friend, if you agree with him the whole time, okay, so Kenny's complicated. But that's why he's so good. Kenny, if you disagree with him every single time, he'll be an asshole. Kenny, if you disagree with him a certain time, he won't be nice to you. But Kenny, if you're always on this side, it will be the best character, right? Now, Kenny is a really really good character, and now we're gonna get into why I love him so much. He's a family man, so he's like, okay, whatever I need to do to protect my family, I'll do it. I don't care about these people. I care about my family, and that's it. And then if you help him and say, I'll care about Lee, you're like a brother to me, right? And Kenny is a simple guy. He even does like racist remarks, but it's not racism. It's like it's ignorant, right? And Lee's a black character. Like, okay, bro, you weren't racist to me. He says like something. Oh, I thought you look urban because he's black, right? So that's kind of funny. But then there's the main point of Kenny is it goes like after this guy called Larry, And Larry is an asshole. Larry is an asshole from day one, from the get go, right? And he's an asshole, and he's one of the biggest assholes in the show. But Larry doesn't deserve death for that. He doesn't deserve for that. It's like a Eugene. You don't want to kill Eugene, even though Eugene is an asshole. Um, but Kenny is actually simple. If you understand that he's trying to protect his family, and Kenny is a guy that doesn't always have the right. He doesn't always make the right choices. Some another time he fucks up, but Kenny is the only one from the group, from the original season one group, right? Who is able to say, you know what, fuck it. We have to do something. Everybody else is like, oh, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. What should we do, Lee? Everybody's like, oh, what should we do, Lee? And Kenny's like, no, no, I have an idea, right? So he's trying to help Lee. He's the most helpful, right? And then he falls. Okay, so it's complicated. So Kenny becomes a family man, which is again super. Kenny and Clementine are the two characters, the two only characters I would say have a nice character development. But there's a special rule. Kenny and Clementine from the Walking Dead Telltale series, they're important because they're both from multiple seasons. So you get multiple casts, and they'll each of the season they'll either die or they'll leave you, right? Clementine always moved, which is actually really cool. There's actually a really good reason for that. And Kenny, is like, okay, well, he loses his son. His son gets bitten, and he has to kill him. And then you see Clementine, and he becomes really protective of Clementine, like to a crazy sense. He becomes obsessive over Clementine. Even Lee, which is this kind of like a father figure, he pushes Lee away aside to say, "Yo, I'm gonna be your father." Why? Because he just lost Duck. So it's kind of fucked up. But when you understand that he's seeing Clementine as a second chance to be a good father, you understand, you know. And ultimately speaking, he always does. He always does what needs Clementine needs. In the second game, in the first game, he's a nice guy. In the second game, he's an asshole. The nicest thing about it is this is so fun. This is so fun. This is to talk to you guys about how good Kenny is. So Clementine ends up alone, right? And then in the second season she meets up Kenny. And Kenny now has a new wife. We don't know how much time has spent. And Clementine was with a Luke, which is a good guy. I like Luke a lot. Luke is also a character that I love, but he dies stupidly, so fuck him. Um so Kenny, see Clementine is like, no, without saying fuck my wife, Clementine, I'll take care of you. Fuck this guy. You don't know him. You don't know him, right? And it's amazing. And can he take care of you and take care of also another guy called AJ. AJ is the son of, I don't remember her name, but she's a girl. She's the pregnant girl in season 2, which is the father is Carver. So season 3, the season 2, there's a baby born which is called AJ, which is Alvin Jr. Alvin is the boyfriend of the girl, and Carver is an asshole, right? So you got Alvin Jr. So they call him AJ. So at the end of the season 2, they really take care of him. And you know the craziest thing about Kenny is Kenny kind of becomes crazy, becomes very aggressive. He becomes very, very, very aggressive. So you know how Shane breaks up? That's kind of Kenny what happened to Kenny. But Kenny at the very end, there's two people. There's Jane, and Jane, she's also cool, but Jane, she's a survivor. So Jane, she helps Clementine because I played this game October 2022. October 2022, and I still remember. So Jane, that's how good the game is. Jane helps Clementine because Jane has a younger sister that she died. So she's Clementine as a younger sister. But Jane will not sacrifice herself for Clementine. Kenny will, right? And ultimately speaking, Jane is possibly better at taking decision, but Jane thinks about Jane's. Kenny thinks about Kenny. So a lot of the choices that you're supposed to take are between Jane and Kenny, and most of the time the right answer is Jane. But Kenny's like, yo, why aren't you supporting me? Why aren't you supporting me? Why are you fucking me over? Why don't you trust me? And the best thing about the second game, the first game, if you betray Kenny a lot, or if you don't side with Kenny a lot, it'll tell you, I'm not gonna help you, Lee. We're over. We're not friends anymore, right? And then the best thing about the second game is no matter how much you fucked over Kenny, you find an encampment. And Kenny is like, yo, we need some help. And the person in charge will say, hey, we can take the kid, we can't take you. And Kenny's like, yo, this is better for you. And he cries and tells Clementine, that's such a beautiful moment, tells Clementine, I'm gonna go now because I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to let you go. I'm not gonna look back at you, but I want you. and Clementine understand how much Kenny cared about her, right? Then at the end, what ended up happening in season 3 is Clementine said fuck the center and went with Kenny, and then they taught AJ, but then the car got I don't know remember what happened, but I know Kenny gets killed, so it sucks because okay, so how can I say this? You know the story is holy shit, I only have one battery, it's okay? Shit, this is empty. Yeah, I probably should do it. Not right now, but still. Well, I have to go soon. Yeah, I have to go really soon. Okay, give me a sec. I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. Give up who I am to who you wanted me to be. Don't know what is open for what you want to believe. Give up who I am for who you. For all the emptiness machine. That you cut me open. Okay. Ouch. Fuck. Okay, so now the story about Clementine. That's kind of fucked up. The main character of the first game is Lee, right? Because he's an adult and Clementine is a child. The main character of the second game is whom? Is Clementine. The main character of the third game is whom? Is Clementine. The main character of the last game, which is the fourth season, is whom? If you said Clementine, you're a fucking genius. If you didn't say Clementine, well, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, so all of the moves that you do it for Clementine, right? You make sure that she survives. And it's weird because I just told you about Jane, and Jane doing anything that she needs to survive. Well, we're kind of the same. We're kind of doing the same. And I don't know if that makes us okay. I do not know if that makes us okay. But Kenny's not gold because Kenny's a simple guy. Kenny might be an asshole at times, but Kenny really does have our best interests at heart. And I think for that, I think Kenny is my goat. And that's your video. Love you guys. Take it easy.